Greetings and welcome as always, Thrift fam, to another episode of the Thrift Store Prep. And this may or may not be an exciting episode for you, and it's certainly something we haven't done for a while at the Thrift Store. It's a ramen recipe, and it's a pretty special ramen recipe in the sense that I've actually never ever tried this recipe before. It's just something that I have theorized in my head and figured out that we could possibly do it. And what we are gonna try to do today, people, is make ramen lasagna. Yes, ramen lasagna. Has it ever been done? I don't know. I could have googled to see if it was, but if I did and somebody had already did it, it would have probably put me off doing this. So anyway, if anyone has tried and attempted this, fair play to you, but this is the Thrift Store Prepper take on a ramen lasagna. So prison ramen, and something that I've developed from prison ramen in my experience of prison and jailhouse cooking, and being able to use ramen as your base ingredient, and be able to cook it without the kitchen or heat source. So, you know, no cooking way of just rehydrating your noodles. Is something I learned firsthand while I was in jail and in an immigration prison. So ramen noodles, most meals in prison or jail will consist of ramen one way or another, and they're very versatile. Many ways that they can use these. But since my time on the outside, I've developed the fact that, you know, prison ramen is a pretty smart and sensey skill to have, certainly in terms of emergencies and prepping necessities, and in terms of, you know, shit hitting the fan, emergency food. Unlike your rice and pasta, you do not have to cook this. You can eat it right from the bag, and if you want to just use a little bit of water to hydrate it, you can. So we are going to attempt to make ramen lasagna here, and how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to figure that out as we go along. So we've got two vegetable flavor ramen here, although we're probably not going to use all of the seasoning. In fact, we probably might not even use any of the seasoning at all, to be honest with you, in this particular recipe. Just the ramen. So where is it? I have a little knife. Now, something you can do is kind of open these, and I don't want to ruin it, because if I do, we can't go back. But most of our recipes up until now, you know what, let's not even risk it. Let's just go straight in with a knife. Most of the ramen recipes now, or up until now, should I say, that we've seen on the Thrift Sports channel, and I didn't even do that very well. So let's do that off camera. You know what, we're not even going to do it in the bag. We're going to take it out and do it. We've got a tray here, and I don't know if this is going to be a good way or not to do it, but what we're trying to do, and unless I'm mistaken, that these ramen, I don't know if you can kind of see there, it's not cry over spilt ramen, there's kind of like a line in the middle there, and what these actually are two separate packages of ramen stuck on top of each other. So I'm going to put one in, and we're going to put two in. I was going to try and cook them in the bag, but there I am, eating ramen fresh from the bag, no cooking. There's even a few little crumbs in there, so we're not going to use the crumbs today. I'm going to eat those. So you can see they're both lead there. So sorry, I'm crunching on ramen. And that just goes to show you can actually eat them from the package. So we got some water, and as always, this isn't boiling water, it's hot water from the tap, and you don't even need hot water. You can use just regular water. So as I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're just going to kind of pour a little bit of water to try and soak our noodles. You might even go with quite a lot of water, because we've got to cover them. So we are wasting a little bit of water, and that was why we were going to kind of try and keep the bag so you can kind of open it very delicately, but I always seem to tear them apart. But if you just manage to open a little bit, you can pour your water into your package, and you don't have to use as much as we're using here. So we're going to put a lid on our oven, and this is just a takeout container that we're using here. And this is what the spring break stew was in. So you know what we are going to do? I know we said we weren't going to use a seasoning. We actually are, but we're just going to use it like in the water. We're not actually going to, because we are going to be taking the noodles out once they've hydrated, so we're just going to put that in just to kind of season it and give it a little bit of a base flavor. But we're not going to be using the broth, which the majority of the seasoning packet will be in. It's just to give our noodles a little bit of a shake. So let's just move those out of the way. I was trying to blow. Oh, before I forget, V for Vendetta. There's your teeny little shit, one of these. I don't know if you can see in there, and you get a teeny little shit and a prepper baby, although it is a different prepper baby than this. That's going to you as soon as you give me your details. First time viewer during the last live show, and that was a lot of fun. I'm just off the back of that and did promise you in that live show that this video was coming next, and here is that video as we speak. So we are going to be using a couple of other things from the pantry that I have, and some things that I picked up. So from the pantry, we've got our cute little mini cutting board, and we also have our can opener. So what we're going to do is also an ingredient is for this is the pepperoni. So we're going to use this one. And I was going to get a second one out, but the meat sticks are at the bottom of the pantry. Needed a lot of moving stuff, but this was one that was actually a prize for the Wheel of Thrift. So we're going to use this one and replace it. So we're going to open that, and we're going to be using our good old rainbow knife, if we can. Yep, we can. And we're going to chop this up. And this meat stick is going to become, obviously, our meat sauce. You know, sometimes you can put some Italian sausage into your... Oh, and I already remember this is a flat knife, not a curved knife. So we're going to cut this up. This is very difficult doing it with this knife in my arms over the camera. So we're trying to cut this as small as we can, and I'm used to one of those knives, not a flat edge. This is why it's difficult for me. I'm not used to cutting with these stupid flat edge knife. I like the curved edge French chef's knife, but here we are again in it going now. So we're cutting up these the best we can into little pieces, and that is going to be fried our meat sauce in you know what, 2 would have been much better. There doesn't seem to be that much meat there, but we'll break this up the best we can, and that will be our meat or sausage for this lasagna. So make sure that's all broken up. And yeah, we probably should have put 2 in, to be quite honest. It doesn't look enough, but never mind, we'll work with what we've got, because you may not have the ability to put 2 in, so we'll just use a single one. So far we're using 2 ramen noodles and 1 little meat stick. That one there could be cut down again. Perfect. So we don't need that right now, so we'll move that to the side. Now, some other things that we picked up at the store today was some pizza sauce. So we're not going to open that yet, but that will be something that we will be putting onto our ramen lasagna at some point. And that was something else we picked up. The little pizza and pasta herb seasoning, whatever you would call this. And this was $1.50 from the dollar store. So we've got some sun-dried tomato, garlic, salt. So that looks like that would be nice. Italian herbs, lemon pepper. We're not going to be using that one. And Mamma Mia. So we'll probably be using a little bit of this, and this in our ramen lasagna. And the other thing we will be using is some of these little French onions. They come in at $1. So sprinkle a few of those on. Now, how are we going to make our cheese sauce for this particular recipe that we're going to... I'm trying very hard to resist eating a piece of the sausage because it does smell pretty good. But back to the bechamel sauce that we're going to try and replicate. Well, first of all, we're going to use some Cheese Whiz. Now, this isn't actually the one that I bought today. This is actually an old one that I've already opened and used. And the other thing we're going to try and use is some ranch. And this is from the pantry and is actually not unopened. So this will be probably... I'm not going to put it back in the pantry after I've used this. I'll probably have to put it in the refrigerator. But we'll use it in some upcoming more ramen recipes. Because ramen recipes are something that we've kind of stepped off the boil a little bit, and we keep putting ramen into our pantry, but don't seem to be topping up the recipe playlist. So this one is the first one in quite some time, probably a couple of months since we've seen one. Just having a little swig of water. So I need a spoon. So I got my MRE spoon, although this is the second MRE spoon I've got. That is there, if you can see it on the little thrift store fireplace, is the first ever MRE review spoon that I use. But we've got another one, and we might even be giving MRE spoons away as Wheel of Thrift prizes. So we've got our mixing bowl. In this case, it's an old weed baggie, and I think there might even be a trace of weed in there. Yeah, there is a little bit of oregano, shall we call it, in there. So what we're going to do, and I have absolutely no idea how this is going to taste, is we're going to put a spoonful of, look at it there, the Cheese Whiz. And the good thing about these bags, you can clean your spoon as you go. And Cheese Whiz. Almost wish me want to go break out some crackers. So we're going to break open the Kraft, and there's a good chance there's a seal that we're going to have to remove. Yep. Now, I'm actually not the biggest fan of ranch dressing, to be honest with you. It's not bad, but I don't go out of my way for ranch. And we're going to add some of this to the cheese. So we've got a bag of white goop in cheese. So what we're going to kind of do, and the reason we're doing this in the bag, is we're going to probably try and use this, and that's what we're doing. You see, we're kind of mixing the Cheese Whiz and the ranch together in the bag, and this is going to kind of, it almost looks a little bit like bechamel now. It's kind of got the right color. So obviously the ranch is going to be a little bit garlicky, and it's got some pepper and some seasoning in there. And we're hoping that this is kind of going to be close enough flavouring, or at least fool you into thinking that we've had real lasagna. Now, I don't know if we want to add more or less to this. But as you can see, we can kind of scrape that down. And this may or may not be giving you some AMSR. So I think that should be quite enough for what we're going to do, because we're only going to need like 2 layers. So, you know what, just for good measures, let's add a little bit more cheese, maybe half a spoon, and a little bit more, oh goodness, bag's a bit stuck, so put the cheese in. Actually, let's taste it. You know what? It's well, yeah, you know what? That would fool you into thinking it's bechamel sauce. It's not exactly that close, but I think once we get everything else together and this melanges, and I've broken the rule and I've used my spoon to stir. So, yeah, definitely. That is not too dissimilar. In fact, that's not bad at all. So, oh, I should have done the jar. People get ASMR from jars and shit. So, I don't know. Let me know if you're tingling. So, same thing. Let's get that mixed up in there. And as I say, you don't need any cooking or chef experience or skills to be able to do this. I'm pretty sure anyone, as long as they got hands, their wits about them, should do that. That's it. Look, people, bechamel sauce made out of cheese whiz and ranch dressing. So let's have a little check on our... We lost some sausage. Noodles and see if these are softening at all, because that's all we're trying to do, is just get them soft. Not far off at all. So let's get a spoon. Actually, they are. This is it. We're through the looking glass, people. God, this is going to be difficult. Let's move this stuff out the way. And if you can kind of see, this is where they're folded in half. So if I can get one out without it falling to pieces too much, and it is kind of falling to pieces on me. That was what I was trying to do. Now, if you kind of see here, we can open it out. So trust me. So we've got one. This worked, kind of, which you can see there. So now what we're going to do is get our tomato sauce open. Which we've done there. And yep, that tastes like some pizza sauce, so we don't need the... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because we're kind of overflapping a little bit there. Let's kind of put that on there. And you're going to see what we kind of do next. And somehow I've managed to splash pizza sauce everywhere. But we're not... That's actually some good pizza sauce. It's not the greatest pizza sauce, I'm kind of lying, but it's not bad. So, you know, this is 77 cents, something you could have in your pantry. So here we're gonna put on a layer of pizza sauce. I'm gonna put it quite thick because we want it nice and saucy. Okay, so there's one layer, and what we'll do is just have a little suck of the spoon. And now what we're going to do is put some sausage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm doing this kind of neatly, so you kind of will get a little bit of a sausage in every bite. And got some for the next layer. Alrighty, so I don't know if you can see that. This is a bit of a bad video so far because you can't really get the angle right. So maybe I need to... That's better. Tilt the angle. Look who's saying hello. Little mini meat sticky's excited about the ramen lasagna. So okay, let's get on to the herbs and the spices. So we're going to crack this open, toss the garbage, and are we going to have to... Sometimes you have to take something out. Now they have the... So what's this one? The sun-dried tomato and garlic. So put a little bit of that on. And we definitely want some Italian seasoning. Or is that the lemon pepper? No, that's the Mamma Mia. That's good. We want some Mamma Mia seasoning on there. And what was the other thing we wanted? The herbs and so there. That's layer one. Now what we're going to kind of do, if we can, is, yep, we did it, fold that over. So there's one layer of the lasagna, and this is where this comes into play. So what I'm going to do is just bite off the corner, and let's put on our bechamel. Sorry, that was the bag, not me. It farts. The bechamel. And you can see what we're doing there. We're putting on a layer of bechamel. Good stuff, good stuff. So we've got enough for the next layer, I think so. So let's just lay that down on the lid. And let's try now to get the other ramen out without it falling to pieces. I'm going to pause. Actually, no. I don't know if we can do this without it breaking. I might have to move stuff out the way. So we're kind of filming this as though it is live. I don't want to be pressing anything and losing the footage. But that's what I'm trying to do, get the ramen closer to the ramen so we don't have so far to go. And yeah, sadly I think we left this one in the water a little too long. But we might be able to salvage something from this ramen lasagna. As I said, we're not making a award-winning food here. We're making survival shit hitting the fan type food. So we kind of got a layer going on. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to kind of wing this the best we can. But we left that one a little bit too long. So let's just pour in some sauce in the middle there. And something I realized we didn't use was some of these little onions. So let's toss a couple of them in on this top layer. And let's get the rest of our seasonings. Sun-dried. Some Mamma Mia. And the Italian herbs. That's that. Now what we're going to do, let's add the rest of the bechamel to that one as well. And we're going to toss that. And somehow try to fold on top the noodles. Now, as I say, that doesn't look like any lasagna you've ever had, and we've already forgot to put the rest of the sausage on. So let's just sprinkle that in somehow and some way. Now you could, if you wanted to, throw some Parmesan on there if you had any. But let's try and mix all that stuff in there together. Excuse fingers. We are going to do some washing up. And oh my god, we've had a terrible spillage. Terrible, terrible spillage. Water's going everywhere. Shit. My goodness, that was almost disastrous to Thrift fam. There's water everywhere. Let me just show you kind of the spillage. I had to stop it from going down there into the electrics. But yeah, that probably doesn't look like any lasagna you've ever seen. And you know what? We're going to put a little bit more of the pizza topping on the top just to give it some more pizza-y goodness. Not pizza-y goodness, yeah. Let's finish the can up is what I'm trying to do. And let's sprinkle a little bit more Mamma Mia on the top. And the Italian herbs. So, as we said, that doesn't really look like any lasagna you have seen, I'm sure. Now I've forgot what I've done with my spoon, and I'm burping already, Becky Pamplin. Oh, I had a spoon. I don't know where it is. I'm going crazy. It's just not true. Hold on. Alright, I've got the spoon. It's been one of those days, Thrift Fam. I don't really know how to explain it. So there's a closer look at the lasagna, and as I said, it doesn't really look like any lasagna you've ever tasted before. But it should fool the mind into thinking you've eaten lasagnas. Throw that little bit of French onion in there, and that is the important thing. So what we might do is it actually smells like lasagna. I think that's probably because of the pizza sauce. But we've had some kind of weird stuff going on with the thrift store studio today. We've had water spillages. It fell down during a live feed, and just a weird day in general. But this is it. We've got through. This is lasagna, ramen lasagna. So let me give you a bite of it cold. I'm not going to try and... It's very heavy. In fact, it's very heavy indeed. That's fucking a couple of pounds, if not more. So I'm going to give it a little bite as it is. And I'm not going to lie, Thrift Fam, that actually tastes like freaking lasagna. And that's cold. Now, some comments I did read when I was on the guest show with Face It Fearless last Friday was about when I was talking about ramen, that people were talking about putting spaghetti sauce with ramen. Well, ramen is pasta, people. It's cooked pasta that's also been fried, but you can reconstitute it, as I did, with just a little bit of water, and you can use it just like pasta, just like spaghetti. And in this case, we've kind of replicated lasagna with ramen noodle. And honestly, that little mouthful did taste like lasagna. So what I'm going to do now, I'll put you on pause again, put some of the stuff away and microwave it. So we'll be back with a hot version. I'm back, Thrift Fam, and we heated up the lasagna. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that. I can a little bit. But it is nice and hot. And I can assure you, it actually smells like lasagna. I don't know what to tell you, Thrift Fam. We're going to go for a hot taste test. In the little cold corner that I had, it really was pretty much tasted just like lasagna. So I'm trying to get a little bit of everything on the spoon. Well, with the pepperoni, it does give it a little bit of a pizza-y flavour, but honest to God, the flavours are pretty much there. I mean, this ain't going to be like your Olive Garden or Mary Chandler's or Mary Candler, whatever her name is, that chick. It's not going to be tasting like them, but it's not too dissimilar to like the Chef Boyardee. It's difficult to eat because it's still in noodle form. But the flavours, I assure you, are pretty much there. Damn, I'm gonna get tucked into this off air. It's too good to be wasting. I shit you not, people. So there's my ramen lasagna. Although we did say it don't really look much like lasagna, but it is layered pasta with tomato and a cheese sauce in between them. So pretty much lasagna or moussaka if you're in Hungary. I think that's what they call lasagna out there. That's it, Thrift Fam. Another ramen recipe. We will be bringing you some more in the future. I got a couple of ideas up my sleeve, and maybe even using some of the fancy imported ramens to do so. Now, if I had a couple of crackers, which I might break out afterwards, that would be quite nice to dip in that sauce. But in terms of costs, this was, I don't know, maybe a little bit expensive on the thrifty side. With 2 ramens, that's 40 cents. We used a couple of spoonfuls of cheese whiz, so I don't really know how you could cost that up, in a squirt of ranch. So you would need those items in your pantry to be able to utilize those per serving. But the Meat stick was like 50 cents, 70 cents. So maybe $2 for the total cost of the ingredients there, providing you had your seasonings and stuff in your pantry to utilize. So thanks for watching, Thrift fam. We will catch you in another ramen recipe and another thrift store episode, thrift store prepper episode. I'm sure that may not be about ramen recipes necessarily, but it might be about some other stuff and things. So keep coming back for more. Keep checking the channel because you're not always guaranteed to be getting your notification. Check that you're still subscribed because, you know, algorithms do like to play games with the passive censorship, as we have discovered and seen on this channel. Thrift Store Prepper back with the ramen recipe, back with a vengeance. This is something you should be trying yourself. And I really can tell you, it does taste like lasagna, people. So again, it's been a shit video production brought to you courtesy of the Thrift Store Prepper. For you, the Thrift Store fam, watching me, watching you. Take it easy, keep it thrifty, and we'll see you next time, people. And news.